going on, people? It's your boy Tops back again for another live match reaction from Arsenal versus Fulham, man. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, all of that good stuff on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Big up everyone who's already tuned in, locked in, already subscribed to the channel. Really appreciate your support, man. But yeah, let's get into it. Obviously, last night's game, Arsenal versus Fulham, a lot of mixed emotions, really. Obviously, Arsenal win the game. Saka coming back, making his return back to the first team after, 3 months out with a hamstring injury. Him scoring, eventually that would prove to be the winning goal. But ultimately, Gabriel's injury really just overshadowed the whole game, really. He's probably going to be out for the majority of the remainder of the season. So, yeah, not a good look, man, for him, man. But we'll have to see what happens, man. Obviously, nothing's really been confirmed yet or diagnosed yet, but it's not looking good. The fact that he pulled up when he was obviously trying to catch up with, I think, Amatriore is not obviously a great look. If I'm being honest, man, and to be fair, even if he has only just come off as a precaution, you're still probably looking at least, 2 or 3 weeks just to be on the safe side, because obviously you can't really risk a hamstring injury, man. So, yeah, bad news there. But let's get into what Arsenal has said. Like I said, you guys, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you've not already. All of that good stuff, man, helps the channel grow. All of that, that's what we like to see. But yeah, man, let's get into it. Let's get into what he had to say, man. Let's have a look. He says on Saka's return, I think it's a beautiful moment to see how much people love, respect, and admire Bakayo. He's not a surprise to any of us, and I think the best example is his reaction immediately after scoring a goal. What does he do? He goes and says thank you for all of the hard work that the sports science guys, physios, and everybody involved in the recovery have done for him to be in the condition that he is. I think he lifted the stadium, the energy. It's great to have him back. Listen, he did lift the energy in the stadium. The game was pretty dead. I'll be so real, man. The game was pretty dead, especially obviously after half time as well, man. Even though Arsenal were winning, there was just no energy in the crowd, man. I feel like everyone's kind of come to terms with the fact we're not going to be winning the league. And the overall game as well, what Arsenal were providing it stunk. I'll be so real. Like, it wasn't great, man. Just in terms of how we were playing. The only real threat was probably Martinelli. But apart from him, man, everyone else really was probably below par, if I'm being honest, especially from an attacking point of view. The likes of Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, from an attacking point of view, weren't great. So yeah, I felt like he did give the crowd a much needed lift that obviously everyone really needed, to be honest. And yeah, going from that, I feel like it was very important for him to obviously come on, but not only him just come on, but he actually had a positive outcome on the game, and he scored the winning goal, man. Like I said, I'm still a bit hesitant of him playing games, just because obviously you don't want his career to be altered based off potentially rushing him back. Obviously, the sports scientists obviously got their time frame as well. But yeah, we'll have to see how he goes on, man, and see how he gets on. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I said, Martin Odegaard made a fantastic start. He was on fire. To be fair, I say 3 games. Even the Chelsea game, when he actually came back, he actually played pretty well. I remember, especially that second half, he created a few chances. So I'll say 4 games. The first 4 games, Chelsea, Sporting Lisbon, Nottingham Forest, and West Ham, he was sensational. And then when that Man United game in the league came and we won 2-0, he wasn't good then, and he's just not recovered. I don't think he's had a good game since. And that was in December. We're in April. So yeah, man. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. But we'll have to wait and see how Saka gets on with obviously the whole injury stuff and whatnot. On the Saka's emotions at full time, he was very positive. I think the first game is always the one I'm going to feel. How am I going to feel? Pardon me, because now I have a different opposition in front of me, different pressures, different demands. He dealt with it very well. The downside of that is obviously Gabriel and Timber. We don't know how they're going to be doing. We'll be assessing them tomorrow and understand better where those two are at. So yeah, man, I'm sure he's going to be doing a press conference on Friday. So quick turnaround, man. Obviously, it's Wednesday today. Press conference on Friday, a couple of days, and yeah, we'll probably get the extent. Gabriel, he'll probably say he's out 5 to 6 weeks, man. And then Timber might be out for maybe like a week or so. Probably be aiming him to get back probably the second leg, I'd say. He looked more like an impact injury, so he might need a bit of ice, a bit of obviously rest. And yeah, you wouldn't really want to risk it. And then the thing is as well, it goes to show, like, obviously we've still got Premier League games. Who do you play in the Premier League game before Real Madrid? Do you risk playing Timber? Is Ben White going to be back? Probably not. He's had something to do with his knee as well. So yeah, he felt something. So yeah, it's a difficult situation, man. We're going to end up having to play probably Jorginho in that midfield, Declan Rice in the 8, And this is why I'm a bit hesitant to letting both Jorginho and Partey go, because injuries can happen at any time. But it just seems like, especially with our defenders, even though we've got a lot of numbers, a lot of them are injury prone, and it only takes a few that are not injury prone to get injured, and then we're in the mess. Like, you look at the likes of Tamiyasu, always injured. Calafiori, always injured. Zinchenko's always injured. And then you probably look at the other ones and say, okay, well, Timber's had an ACL, so that's probably not his fault. I wouldn't say he's injury prone. He's been pretty steady this season, but he's due an injury because obviously he's been out for so long, so I could see him getting injured. Ben White's just had surgery. He's normally very robust, but now he's obviously in that bracket where he could be breaking down like he already has now. So that's 5. And then you're going into your Gabriel Saliba, who always plays. So I think it's just the law of averages, really. I feel like the pressure of having centre-backs that can't come in. And listen, it's not even just the fact that they don't start. For me, you look at the Gabriel and you look at Saliba, they play 90 minutes. You can't even bring them off for the last 5 or 10. These all kind of things just add up. Oh, bless me. These things kind of add up, man. So yeah, for me, you to really look at that. Bless me. Damn. But yeah, we'll have to really look at that, man. But yeah, it's not great. It's not great at all. On the early impressions of Gabriel's injury, there are 2 players in the team that never want to come off. Gabriel felt something in his hamstring. We don't know how big that is, and urine as well. He was already struggling early on in the game. He managed to continue at some point. He couldn't. That's the downside. See, this is why I have to question Mikel Arteta, because you know you got Real Madrid coming up. You know you got big games coming up. You know Jurgen Timber obviously did his ACL, which is obviously part of his knee. If he's having knee problems and thinks he can go on, just take him off. Why risk it? Why risk having him play an extra 30, 40, 50 minutes and potentially miss the rest of the season or potentially miss the Real Madrid games for the sake of an extra 45 minutes where he could just be resting it, make sure you don't obviously influence the injury even more, and then go from there, man. So yeah, I feel like sometimes, and we've seen it before, when players go down injured and then they carry on and they have to get taken off. For me, you got to be like very cautious with these players, man, especially that amount of games they're missing. On Tim's injury, urine was a knee. This is what I'm saying, man. Always the case with the knee injuries, man. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult, man. The good thing is that it's been like this the whole season. You see Martinelli today, we've been missing him for 3 months. You see Bukayo 4 months, Jesus, almost the whole season. How we have managed to be where we are with all those injuries. Ben White hasn't participated at all this season. I mean, that's not particularly true. He did start the last 3 months, and he was injured. So it is what it is. We want so much that we're going to give it a real good go, and we are very excited for next week. Yeah, and yeah, I don't really agree with all this. Like, I think he's definitely exaggerated. Jesus has not missed the whole season. There was a period where he was our best player, especially during that November, December period. So that's not entirely true. Bukayo 4 months, yeah, it's pretty much been 4 months. Martinelli 3, I suppose when you add up, maybe at the start of the season he was missing a few games, and then he missed probably about 6-7 weeks. So yeah, maybe I guess it's 3. Ben White did play the first 3 months of the season, from August till November. So yeah, that's not particularly true. And I don't like this. I don't like this to be where we are now, because you're changing the goalposts now. At the end of the day, everyone knew that we potentially could get injuries. That's why you build up a squad. Obviously, have we been unlucky with the players that have been injured, which have been our key players? I suppose so. But at the same time, you're not going to go throughout 2, 3, 4 seasons without someone like Saka getting injured. Like, they're going to miss some game time. You've seen it with Chelsea with Nicholas Jackson, hardly ever injured. He's missed 2, 3 months. Like, it's going to happen within their career. Thierry Henry was injured. Dennis Bergkamp was injured. Like, these guys do have a period where they get injured for a bit, and it's up to you as a squad to replace them or to plug in the gap so them obviously placing the squad isn't as missed as potentially it could be, because you've got players that can come in. Bro, no one's actually, and people forget this, Partey missed the majority of the season last year, and we still was challenging for the title. He's arguably our best midfielder. He's proved it obviously this season. He's been probably our best midfielder over the course of the season. No one was talking about it because Jorginho came in and bossed it. Declan Rice came in, and Declan Rice was sick last season. No one, this is what I'm saying. When you have the capable replacements, no one talks about injuries in key players because you got the replacements to come in. Liverpool have literally had Alisson out for 3 months. No one talks about it because Keller did a decent job, a very good job actually, filling in. And then by the time, his form was starting to drop, he started to make a few more mistakes than usual, Alisson comes back in. And that's what you want, man. So yeah, obviously, again, we've had injuries, but again, I still don't think it negates the fact how we've been playing and how we've been obviously operating from an attacking point of view. It's just like, yeah, it is, bro. Big up Benji. big up yourself. Hope you're well, brother. Hope you are. It is live, my man. But yeah, 100%, man. 100%. Hope you're well, my man. But yeah, just going through the press conference after the game. On defensive injuries, you can imagine we've lost 4 players in the defensive line in 1 week, which is obviously tough. Calafiori, Ben White, Yurin Timber, and obviously Gabriel. We have still another 4. They are so willing they will do whatever they can to do the job. So obviously you got Zinchenko, you got Lewis Skelly, you got Saliba, you got Kivior. So depending on obviously who plays where, obviously you're not going to play Lewis Skelly right back. He's got to go with Partey, which isn't ideal. But yeah, it's one of those ones where he's just gonna have to try and think of something decent, and hopefully we can get one of Ben White back. But it's not looking good, guys. Obviously, Calafiori, Ben White, and Timber are all knee injuries, and Gabriel's a hamstring injury. So you could argue 3 of them are actual best defenders in the squad. So yeah, not ideal. On the reaction Saka gave to Sam Wilson after scoring, as a manager, I'm part of the staff. We all love this kind of recognition and gestures because it goes behind the professional side of it. There is connection that there is so necessary to be able to appreciate as well the amount of stress, responsibility that we have to go through because they will all be like this. I hope everything goes well and the work that we've done is going to work. So I'm very pleased with all that. So yeah, man. Obviously, Saka was very, very grateful. Big up, bro. Big up, Benji, man. Hope you're well, brother. Let me know what you think of the game yesterday, man. Arsenal obviously winning 2-1. But Gabriel injury, man, really overshadowing the result and the performance, if I'm being honest, man. Obviously, Real Madrid are new impending next week. This time next week, I think it's Tuesday. So, yeah, less than 7 days, man. So, yeah, man, not an ideal situation to have your best centre-back and possibly your best right-back both go down injured, missing the game. It's going to be very, very hectic. But I did see that Valverde went down injured for Real Madrid in their Copa del Rey semi-final. So, they'll have a few injuries as well. But nevertheless, man, Gabriel's literally been our best defender for about 3 years. So, yeah, not ideal. On the importance of the relationship between players and staff, that's why the emotional part is so important, because you can do all the physical work, all the conditioning, but you need to leave the players. 4 months is a long time. And there are moments that we travel, we go to play Champions League, we're going there for 2 days, and you're on your own at training on the ground, and it's not easy. On Mikel Merino's impressive scoring return, it's good he has the capacity to score goals, to sense danger, and to move in the right moments, in the right spaces. Today, it was a different goal, but you have to ask him to play as a 9, and he does it perfectly, understand the timing, the position, and the role. So good. It's a joy to have players like that. I thought Ethan had some really good moments as well. I did think that in the first half he did. Martinelli was superb as well. Yes, in the second half he was very, very good. You see how much we have missed him, that threat, that attacking purpose that he has every time he's on the ball. Some good performances. On a number of injuries we face this season, especially because there have been some big, big players in very, very crucial positions that affecting the whole line. But we have to look at the good news. Look at Mikel, look at Ethan, look at other players doing other stuff. That is it. I mean, listen, you've got to be prepared, man, for these things. I can't lie. Like, you got to build a squad to be managing the amount of games that we've got. And obviously, yeah, it's one of those ones where you can feel sorry for yourself and think, oh, look at the amount of injuries. But what if we have this next season? We're just going to say, oh, look at the amount of injuries we've got. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be a cut-off point where the excuses stop in it. And it sounds harsh, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why, obviously, teams have injuries to key players and still win the league. And no one mentions it. Obviously, Erling Haaland missed, 2-3 months? The best striker probably in the world at the time, as a goal scorer wise, missed 2 or 3 months on the season. And City still won the league because they still had players put in place. They still were playing a certain way where you didn't really know they even missed him. De Bruyne missed half of the season, I think the season before, and he was still in his prime, missed half of the season, 5-6 months, and they won the treble. So yeah, I think excuses can only go so far, man. Decent game, actually. Martinelli delivered. Yeah, I thought Martinelli was the best player. I don't know if he got man of the match, but he was actually doing what I thought he should be doing for the majority of the season in terms of not only looking up, not only making the right decision at the right time, but actually providing a bit of quality at the end of his crosses or passes, man, which is something that I've been always critical of him. I know he can beat his man, but what can he do? Can he deliver at the end? I'm not saying, obviously, every single cross has to hit the mark, but, bro, your output has to be much more improved when you look at the likes of Saka, how on the money he is when he puts crosses into the box into a certain area for people to attack. But yeah, he was definitely improved. Hopefully we can see more of it. And hopefully he can continue. Took his goal very well, even though it was offside too. So yeah, on learning experience, the learning experience managing injuries, you're scratching your head. I'm having the next few games the same. At the same time, it's been a great learning experience for us, all the coaches and staff, to manage the situation. At the end, the players are going to react how they react. You start to feel sorry for yourself and say it's impossible. How are you going to do this? It will be impossible. But the boys don't give up. Don't give you the reason to act like that. And where you look at where you are in April, This is what I'm saying. Bro, you can just give up, or you can just say, you know what, this is how the cards have been dealt. Let's see what we can do from it, innit? Kivior, and the good thing with Jacob is that he's very reliable. Again, with the injuries, every time we need him, he's always there. Again, highlighting the injuries. This is why you got to question people like Tommy. You got to question all the players that are in the team, don't really play too much, and are injured majority of the time. He's available. He does his job. We ask him to play as a left-sided centre back, right-sided centre back as a left full back. He's ready. He's got a smile on his face. It's sad for Gabi, but he really wanted to play as well. But he will be fine. And whether Kivior could be up for the challenge against Real Madrid, if you ask the dressing room how much they want to play the next 2 games in the Real Madrid game, believe me, everyone wants to be on the pitch. And that was the end of the presser, man. Big up everyone tuning in, and make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel if you've not already, man. But yeah, that was the end of the presser, man. But yeah, for me, I feel like obviously Mikel Arteta is obviously very worried about those injuries, especially to Gabriel. I'm not sure Timber's going to be as bad as the Gabriel one, based off that felt like more like an impact injury, but we'll see obviously soon enough. But yeah, he's right about Kivior, man. Whatever you want to say about him, he's actually reliable. Not to say he's obviously good enough, but yeah, he's actually someone that is actually reliable, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's gonna have to come in. He's gonna have to come in and try and do a job. It's gonna be very difficult against Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, and stuff. But yeah, there's no excuse, man. There's no excuse. Big up everyone tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. Well, big up Benji said, "What's up with Tomiyasu? Is this dude ever coming back, bro?" Again, he had another knee injury. He's missed the majority of the season. I'd appreciate it more if Arteta said like he's missed the season, man, and then I would hear it in it. But yeah, yeah, he's been such a letdown, man. And the bad thing about Tomiyasu is that obviously it's not like he's a bad player. Like I do rate him, he can play multiple positions, but because he's always injured, it relies like it puts a lot of pressure on the other players like Ben White, like Timber to play through injuries because he's permanently out. And then now we could do Tomiyasu now. Tomiyasu could have played at right back, he could have played at centre back. Do you know what I'm saying? He could alternate between the two, could have played at left back, like, and he's nowhere to be seen in the crucial parts of the season, man. So yeah, it's just a very, very disappointing way to go out. Oh boy, is Madrid coming up? Yeah, bro, next Tuesday, man. Less than a week, 6 days to go. Real Madrid at the Emirates, man. And potentially we've got Gabriel and Timber both out for it. The back four could potentially be Partey at right back, Lewis Skelly left back, Kivior and Saliba, man, which isn't ideal. Hopefully, Timber can be fit for it, and Ben White. And then for me, I'd play Timber right back. I play Timber centre back, Ben White right back, and have Ben White, Odegaard, and Saka link up again, innit? Kivior versus Real Madrid. Oh, mate, and I think with Kivior, yeah, the problem with him is that obviously he's trying his best, but you know, physicality-wise, he's always got a mistake in him. You know, he could be doodling on the ball. You know, he can get ran in behind. Like, yeah, it's funny because when we have our normal defenders, and then someone like him comes in, like I said, he's a decent defender, but he's not at the level that I'm used to seeing now with Gabriel and Saliba, who hardly make any mistakes. And if they make mistakes, making a mistake is a massive news point. It's like, oh my God, Saliba actually allowed the ball to bounce and someone had a chance from it. Whereas you're just not used to seeing either one of those guys make mistakes. So yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So no defenders and no striker. That's crazy. Listen, bro, we got Mikel Merino, man. Double M. Do you know what I'm saying? Double M. But nah, hey, all jokes aside, yeah, it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good. Especially the fact that obviously Real Madrid are going to probably be having their first line of attack. I don't think this whole news about them getting banned, obviously it's not going to be in time for the Arsenal game anyway, man. It's only 6 days away. No real news about or update if they're going to get banned for the mistakes. Man said double M, my striker. This is what I'm saying, brother. Double M, man. Made back. Marino. What you telling me, bro? 5 goals in 8. Listen, scary conversation. Someone did like a what's the word? Graphic between him and like Solanke, innit? And it's crazy, man. He's only got 1 less Premier League goal than Solanke, bro. And Solanke cost 65 mil and is an actual striker. And my man's just been stashed up there. And I think he's only got like 2 or 3 less goals than Havertz, bro, in the entire season, which is mad as well. So yeah, listen, it's crazy. He's doing a good job, to be honest. He's scoring every other game. He's doing his best. He's trying to hold up play. He's not a striker, in it, so he's kind of just in the realm of unknown. But fair play to him, man. He's actually contributing with the goals. And at the minute, he's actually helping us win games. Scored a winner in the last, obviously, Chelsea game. Scored, obviously, in this game as well. Hopefully, he can contribute in the Everton game. So, yeah, for me, he's got to start up front. I feel like people are going off this Trossard up front kind of thing. And I don't really feel it now. Not anymore. I feel like 2 years ago, yeah, I feel like it could have worked. But when you look at the Trossard up front thing now, I just feel like when he's up front, he doesn't have that interchange that he used to do with the left-hand side, whether it was Gabriel Jesus or Martinelli a couple of seasons ago. Now he's very static. He can't really hold the ball up. He ain't really got the strength. And I don't think he suits how Mikel Arteta wants his striker to play now than what he did 2 years ago, which is a bit more fluid, a bit more interchangeable. Now he kind of wants someone who drops down deep, creates space in behind for like a Martinelli to run to. And Trossard can't really hold the ball up like that on a consistent basis because he ain't got the physique and he's not really technically secure either. He gives the ball away under pressure, not an amazing passer either. So yeah, it's one of those ones, man. Man's laughing. Bro said Trossard up top. This is what I'm saying, man. A lot of people are saying they want to see Trossard up top, but they've got that memory of him playing up top a couple of years ago, which he actually did pretty well. But again, it was a completely different way we used to play. Like we were playing in that Gabriel Jesus false nine kind of mode where the number 9 was kind of drifting everywhere kind of thing, but more obviously in the upper echelons of the pitch, drifting into the left-hand side, drifting into the right. But now we want that kind of focal point that comes deep into midfield, kind of like Havertz does. Mourinho does it as well, vacating space for someone to run into like a Declan Rice or a Martinelli or whatever. So yeah, I don't think Trossard's the best at doing that. Back to goal isn't the best. I'll be so real. So yeah, for me, it's got to be Mourinho. Obviously, Havertz is out for the rest of the season, so is Jesus. But it's a tricky one, man. It is a tricky one. Big up Benji says Tierney surely gets more playing time now, though. Listen, I'd be playing him. I would have brought him on, obviously, yesterday just to shore up the defense. I feel like Luke Skelly was getting a bit tired. And yeah, that's the criticism I've got on Mikel Arteta. He has to utilize his substitutions a bit more. He has to trust his squad a bit more, man. I feel like he's so not cautious, but so worried that a change he makes could alternate the obviously attacking or defensive display of the team, that he'd rather just not do it. This is why you don't see Sterling when the game's tied. You'll only bring on Sterling if we're not even if we're desperate. You only bring on Sterling if we've comfortably won the game. That's why he never gets game time, man. Because yeah, he could have brought him on yesterday 2-0, but he wasn't confident enough that Sterling would get the ball and defend properly, which is probably right, to be fair, because he's not really a great defensive winger. But for me, you got to bring on Tierney. You got to bring on Zinchenko, for example, and put him in midfield just to keep the play going, just to refresh it. Take Odegaard off a bit more. Use your substitutes a bit more, man, especially with the amount of games we've got. We've got another game on Saturday, early kickoff. I keep thinking it's Sunday, but it's Saturday, bro. Like, that is quite a quick turnaround. Then we got a game Tuesday against Real Madrid. Then we got another game on Saturday against Brentford. Then we got another game on Wednesday. So yeah, it is a massive, massive turnaround, man. Massive turnaround. Lord Sterling up top soon. Brother, this is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying. Sterling at the Bernabeu and that. That's crazy. But nah, I don't think he'll get any minutes. I think, well, he's suspended for the Emirates game anyway because you got that silly yellow card. So obviously he's not going to be available for that. But we've got Saka back. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Obviously, going on to other news as well. Obviously, breaking news. Santi_J_FM on Twitter. One of the journalists. I think he's more based in Spain. Obviously, he said exclusive. A meeting took place in the last days between Nico Williams' representatives and Andre Berta, the new sporting director of Arsenal. That's a picture of Nico Williams there. So yeah, I don't know what you guys make of this. Obviously, potential news. Would you be happy, or what do you think? Do you think Arsenal need to get someone like Nico Williams in? I'll be honest with you, I've not seen too much of him. I've watched him at the Euros of Spain. Don't really watch Bilbao games, and obviously I watched him in the Spain game in the Nations League. And I just feel like the games I've watched him I don't think he's in a massive, massive upgrade. I think he's good in transition with his pace, but some of his decision making from the games I watched, I wasn't overly impressed with. And I feel like I don't know if that's the real needle mover in that position. For me, the front two that we need to get, the left winger and the striker, both, in my opinion, need to have a recent history of scoring loads of goals or scoring a decent amount of goals, just so you have that security of, you know what, we're bringing these two in to score goals. If they don't score goals, it's a system problem or it's a manager problem or it's somewhere else. I don't want that excuse of he's young, he needs to adapt to a league, he's not used to scoring goals, he's only scored 2 or 3. Like, I want all of those excuses wiped out, because at the end of the day, we're 6 years into this project now. We've got to really minimize the amount of excuses we're making for the manager, the team, the players, everyone. Like, it's win now, especially because otherwise it's just a round and round we go, like a cycle. Like, this thing just doesn't end until obviously all good players leave. So yeah, it's actually crazy, man. Big up, he says, I always thought you'd be going Barca. I still think he's going to go Barca personally. I know we've been linked with him a lot. I just think he's not going to leave Spain. He just seems like a player. Similar with Zubimendi, man. So I'll be shocked if we get him and Zubimendi, because those are the two players that I feel like just won't leave Spain. They'll just stay there as long as they can, whether it's going to obviously Barcelona, Real Madrid, or staying at their current clubs, Sociedad and Bilbao. So yeah, for me, don't get me wrong. I feel like he has obviously got something, but I don't know if he's the level raiser that we need. I feel like he comes into the mold that he's just a bit better than Martinelli. Do you know what I'm saying? Where I think we need someone that's clearer than Martinelli, and then we go into obviously the next bracket of Martinelli being the backup. That's just my honest opinion. Let's be honest, he's a talent. If he was also right now, he'd be playing against Real Madrid. Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not going to be better than Martinelli, but I want someone that's clearer than Martinelli. I want someone that, you know what, there's no real competition here. It's him and then Martinelli's second study. A bit like how Saka is, and then whoever we bring in is going to be second study. And I don't know if he's at that level yet. Not so you can't be obviously still relatively young for a winger, but again, I don't know if we've got time. I don't know if we've got time to really wait for a player like that to really obviously evolve and be like that player mid-season to really kick on and score a lot of goals. We need someone to come in straight away, hit the ground running. And bro, for me, we need to make a statement start next season, man. We need to go on those runs where, you know what, at the start of the season, this team means business. And the only way we can do that is if we got players ready to obviously make an instant impact. Comparing him to Martinelli is crazy. What, you think he's clear of Martinelli? You think he's... I don't know, man. I've not been too impressed with him, bro. I'll be real. I've not seen him too much, so I can't really comment a lot in it. But the snippets I've seen him, man, I just think he's a bit overrated. I'll be real. Like, even for the money being touted, like the guy's got 4 goals, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Obviously, I know GA and everything, and I hear that. And obviously, Isak only had 8 goals before he came to the Prem, and now he's obviously getting 19, 20 on a regular. But I don't know, bro. For the amount you're gonna be having to pay, probably gonna be 50 to 60 mil. That return ain't great, and I don't want to be sitting here this time next season after buying him, and he's got 4 or 5 goals like Martinelli has now. So, bro, I need double figures, bro. If you come in the team, I'm sorry. The goals have to be up. I'll be so real. Otherwise, there's no point. If you're just going to provide in these low level numbers, because that is very low in La Liga, man. To only get 4 league goals in 25 games for a winger, an attacking winger as well, is not good enough, man. I think Gabriel's got like 5 goals, and he's a CB, and in a different league, I know, but he's a centre back, man. Like, so yeah, man. I don't know, man. I'm not impressed with his tally, if I'm being honest. I feel like that needs to be improved. Are there many wingers clear of Martinelli right now, beside the Barca and Madrid wingers? That's a good point, to be fair. That is a good argument. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there will be. I just can't really think off the top of my head, innit? But now, man, I do feel like we need to find them, bro. I'll be honest. Like, I feel like we kind of wasted this last transfer window in the summer getting Sterling, when ideally we should have got, if you're going to get Nico Williams, should have been this summer or someone of that ilk, and then you can move on from there. Maybe you can look at Bayern's wingers, you can look at Elise, you can look at Gnabry and say they're definitely better than Martinelli. But even like someone like in that echelon of like a Barca or a Real Madrid, not to say you're going to get those kind of players, but yeah, you want those kind of players that are similar to the players of that obviously ilk, so you can compete with them in the Champions League. So that's my thing, innit? Like, for me, it doesn't even have to be a star name. It just has to be someone that maybe plays one of the leagues that's been pretty slept on. Like, look at Mamouche. Mamouche only had, half a season, really. And obviously, I know he's a bit of a versatile player, but he's coming to Manchester City, got a hat-trick, scored, obviously, at the weekend as well. And he's providing a bit of, obviously, competition for Haaland in terms of someone else that can provide winning and equalising goals at the highest level. So, for me, we need to get someone like that, kind of like a goal-scoring left winger, who can contribute as well as the new striker we're going to get. Fingers crossed, man. But yeah, big up everyone tuning in, man. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the thing as well. But yeah, man, I'm not sure about this one, guys. I feel like if we do get him, it might be a case of making sure that he's in the starting team from like pre-season, and then making him be more accustomed to the top level of obviously competitions in terms of the Champions League that we're going to be in, and obviously competing at the highest level in the league, just so he can obviously transition very, very smoothly. There aren't too many top quality wingers. They usually emerge after breaking through. Look at Vinny or Rodrigo. They were both young talents who developed. Nico Williams would become world class. So obviously you're a big fan of Nico Williams under the right circumstances. That's fair enough, your opinion. I'm not too sure. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not seeing enough of him, to be fair. And you got to be fair, man. You can't just go off what you've seen. I've only watched him like 4 or 5 games, and he was probably good in about 2 of them, and then the other 3 I was a bit like, but like I said, that's not enough of a scoping ground to really judge him off, to be fair. But at the same time, I'm not gonna just pretend to be gassed because he's going to cost a lot of money, like a lot of people do. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be fair, balanced, and say, you know what? Not seeing too much of him. If he does come, I'll hopefully he does well because he's playing for Arsenal. But yeah, I'm just going to be a bit hesitant in terms of judging him on really what he can do from the start. And that's the thing. With the potential thing, we're just in a position where the players we get now, in my opinion, have to be ready-made, especially in those attacking areas. We can't wait for Nico Williams to burst onto a scene in 2 years. We've got to do it next year. Otherwise, Saliba, Saka, Gabriel, all these guys will end up leaving the club. And then we're going to start over again. So for me, it's very, very pivotal to get players that can come in. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed. Just because you sign a player that scores a load of goals in another league like Gyökeres doesn't mean he's going to come here and do the same. Like, it's just not guaranteed. But for me, to give you the best possible chance where you've got a back history of doing it, then obviously a high percentage of chances they're going to obviously succeed in another team, in another league, man. But yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. While Bilbao isn't a big club, you can stat pad. They usually aren't the favourites. True. But I would expect him to score more than 4. I'll be real. I will be real, man. Especially if he's one of their best players, and he's not really a prolific player anyway. Just looking at his other statistics, the guy's got 5. Actually, let me try and put it on the screen, if I'm able to. I don't know if I'm able to now. Big up everyone tuning in. I'm sure you guys like the video. I don't know if you guys can see this. It might be a bit small. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a bit more clearer. So yeah, 25 games this season, 4 goals, 5 assists. Last year, 31 games, he got 5 goals, 11 assists, double figures assists. We've got to rate that. But 5 goals. This needs to be improved on. The season before that, got 6 goals, 4 assists. So yeah, not outstanding numbers for the money you're paying. Obviously, you're paying for potential, but really, he's not really touched 7 or 8 goals. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, bit of a worry. Obviously, he's got 4 goals in Europa League. So overall, he's got 8 goals in all comps. So nothing to be mad about, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just feel like if we're gonna get someone like that, it's got to be a guy that's a bit more prolific, man. In my opinion, man. But yeah, man, we gotta wait and see what happens with that, man. We gotta wait and see what happens with that. If I'm being honest with you, you got to realize he kind of got overlooked because of the amount at the Euros. But Williams is young as well. Takes something special to be picked for the Spanish national team. Yeah, that's true. That is true as well. That is true. Like I said, I'm not saying he's rubbish in it. I'm just saying. For me, if he comes here, I'm not going to be overly expecting too much based off 1, what I've seen, and 2, the statistics he's obviously produced at Bilbao. Like for me, it'll be silly for him to come and then he gets 5 goals, and I'm annoyed that he's only got 5 goals. Well, yeah, he got 5 goals at Bilbao. So, like, what? Do you know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to do something he hasn't done before in his career in the league format, and get an X amount of GA. That's obviously unheard of, which is still good, to be fair. He's played in a better team compared to Bilbao. Obviously, also are a better team than Bilbao. So I'm not saying it's impossible to do, but for me, I'm gonna have to wait to see that before obviously I can obviously have a bit of chest about him as a player. He did stand out in that tournament. He scored a few important goals. Yeah, he scored in the final. He was very good in the final. He was very good in another game. There's a few games he wasn't great in, to be fair. And Yamal was the better player. Which, again, for a tournament team, it's good to have obviously different players play well in different games. That's how you get further in the competition, instead of relying on one player to do it all throughout the competition. So that makes sense. But yeah, again, a lot of teams are after him. Barcelona have been linked with him. I think Chelsea have been linked with him as well. But again, we just have to wait and see what he's capable of, man, to be honest with you, before you can really judge it, especially in the Premier League with a different team away from Spain as well, man. That's definitely another factor too, because certain Spanish players don't really like to obviously play away from their national country, man. But yeah, I don't think there are 2 top quality wingers that are just waiting to make big moves unless you take a gamble on one potentially. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when you've actually said it and worded it, man, you might actually be right. There's not a plethora of, especially left-sided attackers that you could get. I know we've been linked with Sane, but he wouldn't be my first choice, to be honest with you, especially at his age, 29, not really the same player as he was. I feel like he does improve the squad, but again, for me, I feel like we need someone in that kind of middle. It'd be ideal to get someone who's like 25, 26, but it's just who's out there, really. I know obviously City have been linked with, what is it, Cambiasso from Inter Milan, I think it is, or Juventus, one of the 2 Italian clubs, winger. So yeah, there's not a plethora of them out there, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that, man. But yeah, that's just a quick little update on obviously Arsenal news and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll be back later on to do the Liverpool versus Everton game. So make sure you guys tune in for that, streaming for that. Yeah, but big up everyone tuning in for this quick little 35 minutes on me just talking about Arsenal news. I'll probably try and do this every day, try and do it live as well. I know you guys want to see a bit more content from me. So yeah, I'll probably try and do like an everyday update live on just football news or Arsenal news in general, innit? Just to try and get some more content on the channel, man. But yeah, big up everyone tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later on for the Liverpool Everton game. Like I always say, don't hit the play at the game. And until next time, I'm out, people. Peace.